The Genshin 6.0 update made me emotional, but not for the reasons you think. I think sometimes when life feels heavy, even the things that used to make us happy start to feel like too much of a chore. And unfortunately, Genshin is feeling a little bit like that for me. It's funny because I've been waiting for this update for months. I've been watching trailers, discussing the leaks with my friends, counting down the days. And then when it finally dropped, it was just nothing. Just this kind of numbness. I've always loved the feeling when a new region drops. The music, the architecture, just a sense of exploration and discovery. But this time I logged in, saw not Krai, and just logged back out. It wasn't even disappointment. It was like my brain went, you genuinely don't have the energy for this right now. And I think that's when I realized it was me, not Krai. Because, let's face it, dear reader, all of us who play Genshin have a favourite region. And a least favourite region. The general consensus is that Sumeru and Natlan are not some of Genshin's finest work. And as a proud Liyue lover, I can attest to the fact that those two regions have probably let me down the most. And in saying that, Krai hasn't let me down. The mechanics of movement, the colours, the designs and the differences in this region when compared to the past regions we've visited, they're there and they are so interesting. Everything about Krai screams almost a abandoned cyberpunk city, but one that's perched on the edge of the ocean, something a little bit desolate, a little bit abandoned, and it is so interesting to me. And yet, I'm sitting here, having not opened Genshin for days at this point. I've genuinely only logged into Genshin to record this video, to wind down one evening, to do the event with Aino, and to get Flynn's. That's been the extent of my Genshin gameplay for, wow, nearly a month now. It's been nearly a month since Genshin 6.0 came out and Krai released, and I've barely touched it. It's just insane to me to think that there are periods of time where I play this game so much and so excessively, and then a few weeks later I'm barely picking up the game. But I guess maybe that's just my cycle of how I play Genshin. And if I'm honest, my real life situation will always reflect into my hobbies. And I think that's been the cause of the issue that I'm facing right now. Because lately I've been feeling burnt out. Not just from Genshin, to be honest, but from everything. Like, I'll sit down to read and I'll stare at the same page for 10 minutes, or I realize that I've been scrolling my phone for half an hour. Even editing videos, playing games, things that I generally love, they've just started to feel like a mountain to climb. And the weirdest part with all of this is the guilt. Like, these things used to bring me so much joy, and I feel almost guilty for the fact that it doesn't anymore. Like, why doesn't it anymore? Why can't I just enjoy it like everyone else is? I see so much content being made off Genshin and so many people finding out amazing little secrets, and I'm just sitting here like, that's nice. Maybe it's because I've been pushing myself too hard, and sometimes that happens. I have been back in New Zealand for almost 6 weeks now from China, and Maybe it was just that change of pace has thrown me off. But maybe it's just burnout. And sometimes with burnout, it just sneaks in so quietly that I often don't realize it's there until I've lost the ability to enjoy all of my hobbies. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at. And it sucks because it means that I haven't enjoyed Not Cry like I wanted to. I used to think the solution to burnout was just to push through. I would be in a reading slump and I would tell myself to do a 24-hour reading challenge. I would be bored of a game and I would tell myself to push through because, hey, you paid $80 for that game, you need to get your money's worth. It was just like this again and again, no matter what I was burned out on. I've just always treated it as if just pushing through will fix the problem. And I think that's kind of part of the problem because, let's be honest, pushing through issues and injuries and problems is not always the way to fix them. Because when I'm burned out, it's not that I don't love the game or reading or any of my hobbies. It's just that I've got nothing left to give them. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup and wondering why nothing feels satisfying anymore. I get the same enjoyment from staring at my roof as I do playing a game, and that is not normal. So I think sometimes I, and maybe you too, need to remember that it's okay to not feel excited about things. We don't have to force excitement. Sometimes we just need to slow down and allow ourselves to rest and have a break, to stop trying to be the best version of ourselves every single moment of every single day, because it's not exactly possible, you know? And I know it's weird because what I get hung up on is games and your hobbies are supposed to be the things that refill you, but sometimes they drain you. Because when you've been running on fumes for a while, even comfort can feel exhausting. And it's kind of hard to admit, but that's where I'm at right now. So I guess I should retract my previous statement on Not Cry is the reason I cried. I mean, it is, but it's also not Not Cry's fault. So maybe I'll revoke some of the blame from the region of a fictional game. And I guess to go back to my thoughts on the actual region of Not Cry and put aside the realization that I am drowning in burnout right now, Not Cry is so unique. There's so many little secrets hidden in there. The exploration has changed in ways for the better, I think. Things are easier to navigate. The chest mechanic to find them is so much better. And even just running around the land feels different. The NPCs are doing things on their own, and it just feels fresh. So every time I've thought about playing Genshin Impact, I've thought, yeah, because Not Cry almost feels a little bit like Inazuma did to me. Inazuma was not my favorite region. I was traumatized enough playing that region and being, shall we say, murdered by many foes. But it was a region that was full of beauty and challenge, and it was interesting. It felt still satisfying. And then we had Sumeru. Then we had Fontaine. And Fontaine was also quite good. And then we had Natlan. But we're back. We're back again with Not Cry. And I think, given time, the uniqueness of Not Cry is going to be something that brings me back to Genshin Impact. I say that because It's okay to take a break, right? This is a game. It is a 2D animation. It is something I play to keep myself busy and to have some enjoyment in my life. It's okay to not always want to play it, and it's okay to not always love the game, because spoiler alert, that's how life goes. You're never going to love every single thing that happens in life, and that's okay too. So I think circling back onto the idea of Burnout and Genshin Impact, it's important that I remind myself and that I remind you, dear reader, that you can take breaks from the things you love, and that doesn't mean you've stopped loving them. Not Krai will still be there when I'm ready, and whatever hobby you're feeling burned out on, that will also still be there when you're ready to come back. The characters, the worlds, the comfort games, the books, they'll all wait for us. And that's kind of the beauty of these things, you know? They're there for us when we need them. And that's the thing about Genshin. I've been playing this game since 2020. That's 5 years of my life. It's not going anywhere. It may take breaks from time to time, but it always comes back. And so do I. So if you're feeling the same, if you've been forcing yourself to play a game, read a book, create something, it's okay to rest. We don't owe people our constant energy or excitement. We're just humans on a silly little planet floating in a silly little universe, and things will wait for us. When I come back to Genshin, I want it to feel new again. I want to rediscover why I fell in love with the game in the first place, and maybe that's going to look like late nights curled up on my couch with an audiobook going, a good snack, a drink, and just hours spent fluffing around exploring the new region. Or maybe I'll finally dive into the story quest or a random side quest. I don't know what it will be, because there are so many different ways to enjoy these things. And like I keep reminding myself, I don't need to rush it. So maybe the Genshin 6.0 update didn't make me cry because of the story. Maybe it just reminded me that it's okay to pause, that it's okay to need a break. That even in Teviot, sometimes the best quest you can take is the one where you log off, breathe, and just exist for a bit. And maybe touch some grass. That might be recommended for your mental health. I don't know. So, when I do come back, maybe I'll finally be ready to explore Not Krai the way it deserves, and not let it rot on the shelf at 20% exploration like Sumeru and Natlan have been for the past however long those regions have been out. But until then, I'll just keep resting and remembering that the worlds we love, they're not going anywhere. They're waiting for us, and they always will be. So thank you, as always, dear reader, for watching and spending some time with me. And I hope to see you next time.